So good afternoon all of you and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. Today we are going to do the next topic. So till now we discussed about the DNA structure, RNA structure, and now we are going to do about the protein structure. So this is going to be a little bit of repetition for you guys because already in biochemistry we have completed this part. Okay, so this is just like a revision for you guys. So this was made actually for the MSc students, but they are busy and they're not able to come. They said they will join later. So yes. So already let's just do the revision of the protein. So what all we know about the proteins, that they are the polymers of amino acids. We have got 20 natural occurring. So can you name them? What are the 20? So if you start with A, alanine, then yes, what else? Asparagine is there, aspartic acid, asparagine, then glutamic acid, glutamine, then proline, methionine, what else? Cysteine, serine, threonine, tyrosine, tryptophan.
Leucine, isoleucine.
Yes, leucine, isoleucine. Then what else? How many over? 3, 3, 1, 7, and 14. 6 more pending. So what are those? Okay, valine, histidine, arginine, lysine, 2 more. What will be those? Which one?
Phenylalanine.
Yes. Phenylalanine, very good. And glycine. Yes, glycine. So these are the 20 amino acids. Okay, good. So these are the 3-letter code and you should always remember the 1-letter code also. Okay. So we know that each amino acid is specified by the genetic code. So how many genetic codes are there? 64, right? Out of these 64, 3 are your stop codons. Now, you don't have to remember all the other 61 codons, but you need to remember the 3 stop codons, okay? So that is what opal, amber, ochre. So please remember those also. Now, among 61, you need to remember is AUG, which codes for? AUG codes for?
Guanine.
Huh? AUG codes for methionine.
Methionine.
Okay, so always remember triple U codes for phenyl. So what you can do is make this table and remember these 3 stop codons and what does triple A, triple U, triple C and triple G code for. Okay, and plus AUG. Just remember these 5 codons. It will be more than enough because whenever any question is going to come in future, it will be based on these only. So these are like easy to remember. That's why I'm telling you to remember only these codons. Rest all no need to remember. Now, we also know that some of these amino acids can undergo modification when they're already part of the protein. Okay, so what does it mean? What kind of modification they are talking about? It can be the addition of sugar, so glycosylation. It can be addition of palmitic acid, so palmylation it is called, or prenyl group, or we can have the myristic acid group addition. So all this modification takes place on your protein. Okay. Now amino acid. So this is also, we know what is the basic structure of amino acid over here. So we have got the C alpha, then you have got the carboxylic group and the amino group, R group and the H group, right? Now, depending on the R, we have got the different types of side chains. Now, depending on the side chains, your amino acids have been classified into different groups, correct? So, what are those groups? So, you have got aromatic amino acids. So, what all amino acid comes under aromatic amino acid?
Tyrosine, tryptophan, phenylalanine.
Sorry, tyrosine, tryptophan and phenylalanine. Very good. What about basic amino acids?
Histidine, lysine, arginine.
Very good. Histidine, arginine, and lysine. Then acidic amino acid. Yes.
Glutamic acid, aspartic acid.
Very good. Okay, so what all is left is your non-polar aliphatic and amino
Yes.
acids. Okay, so rest all yes you can do. So and there is one more classification: sulfur containing amino acids. Sulfur
Cysteine and
containing.
Cysteine,
methionine.
Very
cysteine,
good.
methionine.
Very good. Cysteine and methionine. Okay. So you are thorough with your amino acids. Very good. Okay. So this is the entire table. Already we know it will be very good if you remember the structure because it is going to help you in doing the numericals. Okay. Now talking about the peptide bonds. So this also we know the peptide bonds are the covalent links between the amino acids and it is formed by the condensation reaction, that is with the removal of water molecule, right? So we know that one molecule of water is removed to make one peptide bond, and that's why when we are going to do in future the numericals or the problems based on the protein, please remember if suppose it is a tripeptide, so how many peptide bonds are there?
Two
Two.
peptide bonds.
Peptide bonds are there. Okay, and how many water molecules have been removed?
Two.
Very good. Two water molecules have been removed. Very good. Okay, so only this concept you need to keep in mind. Now, sometimes they will also twist the question. See, if I say tripeptide, it means what? Three amino acids were there. Now, this is called linear, right? What if it was circular? So, how many peptide bonds? Yes,
Five.
one, two, three, four, five, six. Clear? If it is
Okay.
circular, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 peptide bonds. So 6 water molecules will be removed. Okay. So usually in nature, circular peptide or circular protein does not exist. Okay. This is just for the sake of problems. I'm just telling you. Okay. So what is the average molecular weight of a protein? Sorry, of amino acid?
110 Daltons.
And specific weight of glycine? 75 Dalton. Okay, 75 Dalton of glycine, at least you need to remember. The rest all you can take the average. Now here is one more new concept. Okay, so this is biochem. So I'm taking all Watson. Okay, from Watson I'm taking all these things. So what you to remember over here is not remember exactly. You need to understand the bond called the torsion angle called phi and psi. Okay, it is called phi and psi. This is very important. These are called your torsion angles. They are related to something called Ramachandran plot. Have you heard of Ramachandran plot?
Yes, ma'am. I saw in previous questions.
This is very important, okay? And whatever protein structure or your DNA structure, whatever it is there, Ramachandran plot plays a very important role, especially for the proteins. So it says that, Ramachandran plot says that if a peptide bond is satisfying the phi and psi angle, then the structure is correct, okay? It is not twisted. If it is not satisfying the Ramachandran plot, it means the structure of the protein is wrong. Okay, so in the nature, the protein exists. So of course, it is a correct structure. But what happens when we are purifying a protein and we determine the structure of a protein, right? So we need to know that in the crystal, what we have crystallized the protein, the structure what we have determined using the NMR or X-ray crystallography, it is correct or not. So to confirm that the structure is correct, we use Ramachandran plot. And each peptide bond that is between glycine-glycine or glycine-proline or glycine-threonine, so some torsion angles are given. Okay, so if it is satisfying the Ramachandran plot, it means the structure is correct. So of course, in every time we never got 100%, it is always 95 and above. So if it is 95 and above, it means the structure is correct. Below that means something went wrong. So you need to adjust the structure then. Okay, so everything is done in the computer only. So algorithms are there. Okay, so coming back over here, so the angle the phi angle is corresponds to the rotation between your C alpha and N. Can you see over here the structure? This is your N and your black atoms are your C alpha. C alpha and N, this angle is called your phi. Is it okay? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
See, if I draw this structure, C alpha, COO minus, this is H, this is R, this is NH3 plus. So, if I say this angle is your phi and this angle is your psi. Okay. So, here also they have shown. So, you have got C alpha and C carbonyl. So, this angle is called your psi angle. Okay. Please remember C alpha N is your phi, C alpha C is your psi. Okay. It is important. Okay. That's why I'm repeating again and again.
Yes, ma'am.
So C alpha N is your psi, then C alpha is your phi, and this is psi. Okay. Now, so same thing what we have just discussed now. So there are 3 bonds per amino acids. One which is forming the N and the C alpha, and the other one is C alpha and the carbonyl. So phi and psi angles, they're called the torsion angles. So peptide bond has very little rotation freedom because of its partial double bond character. Okay, so the peptide bond has got the partial double bond character. That's why the rotation is limited. Now, all this polypeptide conformation is based on the values of the torsion angles. Many combination of these two angles lead to atomic collisions, restricting the conformational freedom of a polypeptide chain to certain ranges of each angle. So what does it mean? It means that if suppose these angles, the torsion angles are not proper, so what will happen? The side groups of the 2 or 3 amino acids will be colliding with each other. So when these side groups or the atoms collide with each other, what will happen? So the conformation is not going to be proper. Okay, so it means it is not present in its proper structure. So what are those? So here, this is also very important to remember. Glycine, proline, and cysteine, they are special. Okay, in the case regarding the polypeptide structure or regarding with the Ramachandran plot also. So glycine is not chiral. It means what? Why glycine is not chiral?
It does not have 4 different groups,
Yes,
functional
correct. It
groups.
has got R as H only. So it is not chiral. So because of this, it has got more conformational freedom than any other amino acid. So in the Ramachandran plot, glycine can be present anywhere. Okay. So it can have any torsion angles and it can be present anywhere in the Ramachandran plot. It means what? In other words, in Ramachandran plot, glycine is allowed in each region. Okay. Now proline. So proline, we know that it is an amino acid. It has got the cyclic structure, and because of its cyclic structure, it has less conformation freedom. Okay. So moreover, absence of the hydrogen bonding potential of the NH group, it restricts its participation in secondary structure also. So what you need to remember here is, in secondary structure called alpha helix or beta sheets, if proline is present, the structure is disrupted. Getting the point? So glycine is present in entire Ramachandran plot region. Proline is not, because of its cyclic structure. It has got less conformational freedom, and hence if it is present in the secondary structures like alpha helices and beta sheets, it will disrupt the structure of the protein. Okay. Now cysteine. Now why cysteine is also important? Because of its SH group. So it is going to make the disulfide bond, which is going to affect the structure of the protein. So it is one of the amino acid that is sensitive to oxidation reduction under roughly physiological conditions. Two cysteines correctly positioned across from each other in a folded protein can form disulfide bond by oxidation, right? So this is also, you can see here, two cysteine molecules are there. If they are in the correct vicinity, what will happen? The SH group will undergo oxidation and will form a disulfide bond. This disulfide bond is also going to affect the structure of the protein. Now, this is all your Ramachandran plot. This is how it looks like. Okay. Now, this is very, very, very important. So, let's discuss. Now, these regions where nothing is there, it means what? Here, Everywhere glycine is allowed. Is that clear? Okay. Now this region where already all these things are written, it means only that particular region it is allowed. So let's talk about first this thing. So can you see this is your phi like this, and this is your psi. Okay. Sorry, this is psi and this is phi. Sorry, I was writing something else and saying something else. So psi on your y and phi on your x-axis. Okay. Now what are these? What are these? Can anyone tell me?
Pi.
Pi means what? Over here, pi means what? In Ramachandran plot, pi means what? Okay, in trigonometry, pi means what? Whenever we talk about degrees, okay, wherever we are talking about the rotation, so pi means it is nothing but your 180 degree. Okay, it is your 180 degree. So here it is 0, and then here it is minus 180, minus 180, here plus 180. Again minus 180, here plus 180. Okay, so this means what? Phi over here is 0, this side negative, this side positive. Here psi is negative and here it is positive. So suppose a value is present over here. So what does it mean? It has got positive psi and negative phi. Clear? If a value is present over here, it means that it has got positive psi value and negative phi value. This is how you should read the graph. Clear?
Ma'am, once again, ma'am. Negative.
See, this is your psi along the y. Okay. Along x is your phi. Here it is 0. This side it is positive psi. This side it is negative psi. In this case, this is negative phi and here it is positive. Now, if you have a value, suppose over here, it means what? It is present in the second quadrant. Second quadrant means positive psi, and look it over here. This is coming here, right? So this is negative phi. Now, if you have a value which is present over here, so here means you look at over here. This is what? Minus psi, but positive phi. Now are you getting?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
This is just the degrees which is present in the Ramachandran plot. Okay, so just I have just mentioned with the example only. So later we will study what all the degrees are required. Okay. Now, so this is the region. Okay, this is the region where all these values are present. So right-handed alpha helix and beta sheets, polyproline helix are present in this region. Right-handed alpha helix and beta sheets. So can you see the region over here? This much portion, okay, these many values are present, which is allowing your right-handed alpha helix and beta sheets. This is allowing your 310 alpha helices, and this is allowing a left-handed alpha helix. Okay. Now, what is 310 alpha helix? It means what? Per 10 residues of amino acids, per 10 per turn of the amino acid, there are 3 residues present. Usually it has got 3.6 in alpha helix, but in the 310 alpha helix, per turn has got the 3 residues. Okay, we'll do all this in detail again, don't worry about it. Okay, so till now this much is clear about Ramachandran plot, how to read the graph. Okay, and these are the region where your beta sheets right-handed alpha helix is present. This much region is for your left-handed, and this much region is for your 310 alpha helixes. Okay, just remember this much only. Now we'll do numericals, that time it will be more clear. Okay, now protein structure. So already we know that there are 4 levels of protein structure: primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary structure. What we are going to learn over here is about the secondary structures. There are two types, alpha helices and beta sheets. Okay, now what all we need to remember about alpha helices? If you have read doing the question answers, that time you must have learned that normally it is your right-handed. Your alpha helices are right-handed, okay, and they make hydrogen bonds between the first to the fourth hydrogen bonds. Is it clear? Is it clear? So they make hydrogen bond between the first and the fourth amino acid residue. So you have got alpha helices like this, right? So they make hydrogen bonds like this, like this. So that is between the first and the fourth amino acids. Now the next regular conformation is the beta strand. So it is the extended conformation and they are present sidewise like this. So amino acid polypeptide chains are present like this. N terminal, C terminal like this, they will be present, or in the zigzag fashion. So they can be parallel or they can be anti-parallel. So I'll show you the structure now, it will be more clear. Look at over here. See, this is how your alpha helices looks like. Okay, so in one pitch, it has got around 3.6 residues. One turn, if I say one turn or one pitch, it has got 3.6 residues, and the length is about 5.4 angstrom. Okay, and please do not get confused with the DNA data. So what about DNA? In one turn, how many nucleotides are present in DNA? In one turn, how many are present? Bases, how many bases are present?
10.5.
Very good. It is 10.5 base pairs. Okay. Here it is 3.6 amino acid residues. What is the length over there? Here it is 5.4 angstrom. There it is
34 angstroms.
yes, 34 angstrom. Good. So don't get confused, okay? Because later on we have to do all these questions together, both DNA and amino acids together. Okay. So here this is about your beta parallel sheet. So here you can see that how nicely N and C. What does it mean? N terminal to C terminal. Here N terminal to C terminal. So it is taking actually a turn like this. Okay. So this is your parallel and anti-parallel beta sheets. Now these sheets are also joined by the hydrogen bonds either in the parallel or the anti-parallel fashion. Okay, now the tertiary structure, we know that it refers to the usually compact three-dimensional folded arrangement of the protein. And if suppose all these tertiary structures come together, they form the quaternary structure. So give me the example of tertiary and quaternary structure, which is functional.
Tertiary is myoglobin, quaternary is hemoglobin.
Very good. So here they have shown the levels of the protein. You have got the polypeptide chain. Secondary structure of alpha they have shown, then tertiary, and all together it forms the quaternary structure. Okay. Now this here they have shown the beta pleated sheets. Now can you tell me which one is parallel and which one is anti-parallel over here? See over here N terminal, C terminal, N terminal, C terminal. So they become your parallel beta sheets. Okay. Now but see, look at the hydrogen bonds. It is zigzag. Can you see? The hydrogen bonds in the parallel is zigzag. Like this, right? This is your parallel beta sheets. Now this is your anti-parallel beta sheets. In the anti-parallel beta sheet, you can see the hydrogen bonds formed are straight. Okay, so this is what you need to remember. Can you do it? Yeah. Parallel beta sheets, you are going to have the zigzag hydrogen bonding. Anti-parallel, you are going to have the straight hydrogen bonding. So that's all about the protein structure. Thank you for listening.